Self-improvement is masturbation. If you've seen the movie Fight Club, you know what I'm talking about. When you think about all the pursuits that we chase every day, all the pursuits that we think we need to chase, in the end, what is the goal? In the end, where does it truly get you? There's truly no point of any of it. I think about how self-improvement and the idea of chasing these things in your life and these habits to build some kind of lifestyle that satisfies you. Does it really satisfy you, or are you just doing it because that's what people tell you is supposed to satisfy you? That's what people tell you is supposed to prove your worth, is by you leveling up. But reality is you're never going to fully fulfill that standard that you think you need to meet. There's always going to be something else to chase. I've realized after putting myself in this box and living in it for a while, it's ultimately meaningless. I think about the book in the Bible, Ecclesiastes. It's King Solomon. He's the wisest man in all of Jerusalem. He's the wisest man in all of the land. He has possessions more than anyone ever could imagine. You know, more cattle. He had slaves, which at the time meant that you had a great form of wealth and status, and he was king, so he had everything he really could have wanted. But above all else, he was wise, and he had sought wisdom from God, and God had granted him wisdom. And with this wisdom, he was able to understand, he was able to realize that everything that he had chased, everything that he has, everything that a man toils under the sun is what he calls it. It's all meaningless. A chasing after the wind is what he calls it. Everything has already been done. You know, we're here, we're gonna leave, and whatever was here is gonna leave too. And the things that we think we need to chase, the things that we think are important, the things that we place our identity in, it's all going to be gone. And if you think of it, a lot of things we place our identity are, you know, materialistic things. Like, you know, one of the main outcomes that people chase when they're doing self-improvement, when they're trying to go through this phase of their life where they want to achieve some goal, to achieve some status, you know, a lot of it is working towards money. And all these things that we place our identity in, they all will fade away. So why is it worth placing our identity in if it's meaningless? If it fades away, if it's all going to be gone, what's the meaning of any of it? And so I think that just comes to the question that you must ask yourself, like, who are you? Who do you want to be? Right? Are you your favorite football team? Are you your job? Are you the money that you have? The car that you have? Who are you? None of these things really define you unless you let it. But I don't know about you, but I don't want to live a life where my identity is tied into these things that are just going to fade away. They're going to dissolve in thin air one day. And so it just makes you question a lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis. It really makes you wonder if any of it's really worth it. And it just puts it in perspective. Because if none of it's worth it, then why do we place so much of our identity in these things, these pursuits? Why do we place our identity in our job? Why do we place our identity in status? That's not who you are. There's a layer underneath everything that you have identified yourself with all of your life. There's a layer under everything that you must unveil, you must uncover, and truly figure out what that is, because that is the real you. Right? You're not even your name. Yeah, your name is just a word that people can call you, that looks good on paper, but who are you? Like, who's Jake? I feel like I don't know if we'll ever truly know like the full answer to that. I think it's an ongoing process that takes our whole lives to figure out. Really, like I don't know if I truly know the answer, because again, I keep having these realizations where it's like a lot of the things that I have placed my worth in are meaningless, and that's why we must identify with Christ. Right? Jesus Christ is the one true thing in this life that we can place our identity in, that he will not let us down, he will not fade away. In fact, if we place our identity with him, there is eternal life with him in heaven. And so, while that is to come later on, it's like, well, now, while we're in this life, what's our true job? Like, what's our true duty? What's our true purpose in this life? Well, it's not to place your identity in your favorite football team. It's not to stress and chase that job that you think you need to have, or chase a certain amount of money, because it's all going to be gone. It's all meaningless. But while we are here, I think personally it's important that whatever we do it for the glory of God, and we honor him in all that we do. We do good. We do good knowing that our identity is in Christ, and Christ is within us, and he loves us, so we should love others. If Christ loves us so much, then we should share that love with others, and we should reflect that love into other people's lives, because that's the one thing that's not materialistic, that we can make an impact in people's lives, is by loving them, by welcoming them. Just a thought I've been thinking on a lot today. Because I always wrestle with it in my life. I feel like I'm at a point in my life, I'm at an age where there's a lot of new, and there's a lot of things that are to come, and there's just always this desire in the back of my head of wanting to achieve. Right? I like to think I'm ambitious, and so it's like I'm always wanting to find a thing that I think is the thing that I must pursue to prove something, to prove myself. But in the end, it's all meaningless, is what I begin to realize. And I haven't realized that on my own. I've realized that the closer I've grown to God, that the more he reveals to you what's worth pursuing, what's not worth pursuing, and what we should worry about and what we shouldn't worry about. Because half the things that we worry about are meaningless. And I feel like it's like that more than ever. Like we worry about all the things that we don't need. We worry about the things that we want. We worry about the things that we don't have. Our image, our self-image, how we look on Instagram, how we look on social media, it's all meaningless. You should never care what you look like to other people. What other people think of you, is that meaningful? Is what other people think of you, does it have any meaning? Hell no. It means nothing. If you're living a life conform to what people think of you, if you're living a life that's truly always caring what people think of you, how are you going to live a life that you're actually called to live? You're just letting someone else dictate that for you. And I've grown up with social media, so like I've lived in that, and I can assure you it's nothing. It's the most unfulfilling life ever. You got to break free from that, and you got to find that foundation. There's a foundation underneath your thoughts, underneath your flesh. There's a foundation in there that is worth pursuing, and that is true. It's true to what makes you you. You just gotta find it, and the more you seek God, the more he will reveal it to you. I think it comes with just trying to be holy. There's a lot of things in this life that we need to let go of if we want to grow closer to God. And in the beginning, it doesn't seem like it's worth it, really. It could be like, it doesn't seem like it's that deep, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but it really is everything, and our soul depends on it. But the more you let go of these things, the more God will bless you, and the more He will awaken you to the realities that we live in, the realities of the world, and the realities of yourself, and what makes you you. And so now it's like whenever I feel God's presence and I feel Him calling me to pursue that, I want that more than anything. It's easier to listen to Him. It's easier to hear Him calling you in a certain direction. You know, He's always waiting there, ready to guide you, but you have to acknowledge Him first. You know, it's up to us to take that step. I'm actually shivering out here because it's freaking cold, yo. I thought it was gonna be warm, but it's low-key chilly. But anyways, that's just kind of food for the mind, food for thought that I've been sitting on lately. So I wanted to share with y'all. That's what this channel's for, and I like to think it means something, you know, just a little bit. But that's all I got for this video. Thank y'all for watching. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the day that God has set before you. Make the most of it. Don't take it for granted, because every day is a day for you to discover something. Discover something new about yourself, about the world. You know, if we're not doing that, then again, we're just chasing. We're just chasing after things that come and go. And maybe that's a lot of just what life is. You know, things are already here. Things have already been. Things will come as they are. Things will leave as they are. So yeah, read Ecclesiastes. It's a great book. It's kind of deep though. It's kind of harsh. It puts it in perspective, but it's definitely worth reading. A lot of wisdom from King Solomon. But that's all I got. Thank y'all for watching this video. I'll see y'all in the next one.